Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call the Lamar City Council regular meeting for Tuesday, June 6, 2023 to order. We'll start with roll call.
Goodchild?
Yes.
Donlin?
Here.
Wick?
Yes.
Sturgeon?
Yes.
Bruns?
Here.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Starting with general discussion, we have a 10-minute time slot for citizens. Any citizens that would like to address the council? Sure. You can step to the mic and
Okay.
state your name and address.
Hi, my name is Katie Lochner. I live at 820 2nd Street Southeast in Lamars. It's right by Cleveland Park. I would like to propose and ask if I can get approval for chickens, and maybe get proposed that we change the zoning ordinance to allow chickens within the city limits of Lamars. Some minor things would be like no roosters, noise and smell, maybe if, maybe get it approved by your neighbors. The reasons I would like to have chickens is I grew up with chickens, I really enjoyed them. I would really like to pass that unique experience on to my children. I would like to teach them responsibilities, animal husbandry, the proper care and feeding of chickens, what to look out for. I'm trying to start, like an urban homestead. I know it'd be easier to do on a larger plot of land, but unfortunately, we can't afford it. So I would like to do it in town if that's at all possible. I had already gotten verbal approval from all of my neighbors, so if you need written approval to go forward with this, I don't foresee that being an issue. Yeah, so that was my proposal. I want to feed my kids healthy stuff. I want to provide a sense of community with my adjacent neighbors. I have offered to share my egg production with them, provide, and it's led to a lot of my neighbors' discussions, even across my neighbors across the street, down the road. They're all very interested in the chickens and things of that nature. So, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a public speaker.
No, you're doing way better than I did the first time I did that.
Just fine.
I do have a question for you though. I know we talked a little bit beforehand and you discussed that maybe you might already have something and that
Yes.
was a whole confusion about something.
Okay.
Explain that a little bit.
So to clarify, when I initially looked up if I could have chickens within the city limits of Lamars, I did find an incorrect zoning ordinance that did state I could have chickens. So, and then when we came in, I did talk to Luke. We couldn't find anything saying that I could not. I left my name and number, and with the intention of if anything came up, he would let me know. And then, yes, and then I found out that no, you cannot, and he sent me a letter in the mail, and so then he suggested coming here, bringing it in front of all of you. It was a mistake on my part. If it is an issue, we already have someone that is willing to take them, but I got attached to them, so I kind of don't want to give them up.
Oh, we're gonna have chicken sandwiches.
So I have looked at other zoning regulations for cities that do allow chickens. Obviously no roosters due to noise complaints. They're up. I've never had roosters. I have no interest in having roosters. We've had one rooster in my lifetime, and it is up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and no thank you.
How many do you have now?
I have 17 birds, so I have a goose to protect my flock, and then I have 2 ducks to also help keep the goose company, because the goose, it was recommended for companion, the water bird, waterfowl. We do have one duck that is noisy. We're planning on getting rid of it already. And then we have a turkey for Thanksgiving, and then the rest of them are chickens.
Luke, what was the conflicting? You said you looked it up and you didn't see that there was no problem, and then, does it fall under our livestock? Is that where
Yes.
we're at?
Yes, it
When,
does.
when she first brought it to my attention, I wasn't particularly familiar with the code.
I think you said you had just started
Yeah,
that week.
I hadn't been here for long,
Overwhelmed.
and
Chickens is week 2, so.
when I was looking for a better answer for her.
Okay.
I didn't get back to her right away, and then I didn't realize it was you that I was sending the notice to because a neighbor had complained. So that's how
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't an adjacent neighbor though. They've all, we are 90% sure we know who complained.
Okay.
It's not an adjacent neighbor. It's somebody who was going for a walk and saw them and probably knew that they weren't allowed within city ordinance. We haven't actually spoken to that neighbor.
Mike, what would we have to do to, if there was support, to propose change the ordinance, or how we get that?
You'd have to change the ordinance, you'd have to have 3 readings of the ordinance,
Mhm.
and go down that road.
And if we follow that route, is there any chance we could hold off on some kind of enforcement on what's going on now, or what's your opinion on that?
I would defer to city staff as to whether they want to do the enforcement now or not. I mean, if you're not gonna enforce it as to her, if someone else comes up with a livestock issue that's a horse or a cow.
I'm just trying to think ahead,
I mean,
yeah, I
it makes it difficult.
Well, in the city ordinance, it does state I can get council approval or it has to fall within city zoning regulations.
I don't
Well,
know.
just so you know, we can't act on it right now today,
Okay.
because it was not on our agenda. But we appreciate you coming in and taking your advice. We will, meet and decide whether we're gonna bring it to formal agenda item or not.
Okay.
And, Luke can be in contact with you as far as, where we go from here, so.
We'll figure something out.
Yep.
I had that on my list of things I wanted to start discussing.
All right.
So, there we go.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
And your children are very well behaved.
Thank you. We had a long talk, like, this is very important to mommy.
What's one of the chickens' names?
So my goose's name's Mr. Nibbles, because that's how I decided to pick him out.
Ask them.
Oh.
That's okay.
What's their favorite?
I think they like our laying chickens the most, and then we have a couple meat birds that are really friendly, and then the duck is actually the least friendly, the noisy duck, so. I don't know how that worked out with the goose, but.
All right,
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to thumbs up award. We'll start down here because it looks like they're having a discussion. Mark?
Thumbs up with Plymouth County Cyclists holding their 16th annual Tour de Plymouth this Saturday at 9 o'clock at Bike Central.
I have two. One is thumbs up to the Christian Meat Center and their service to Lamar's and closing their doors after 30-some years. And I do know the service that they provide is valuable and they'll be missed to us with Lamar's. And then the second is to the American Legion and the Memorial Day program, always inspirational, and the display of flags was awesome and they had a beautiful day for it. So thumbs up to them.
I have the same thumbs up to American Legion, that was my plan, and then also thumbs up to Wise Eye Brewery. I'm going to be going there this afternoon, if you all want to join me at 3, to read a proclamation for Iowa Craft Beer Month. So, I'll buy you a beer, whoever's in this room.
And they have root beer for the youngsters.
Okay, Clark?
I have an unknown thumbs up. There's a gentleman down in the northwest corner of town that walks around a lot of times and picks up trash. And I mean, he's picking it up to throw it away.
sure I know who this is.
Several
Then I
early morning
creep on
walkers.
him, you know.
Several early morning walkers do the same thing.
Yeah, and I just appreciate it, 'cause
Yeah.
I can't stand people that just throw trash on the road, you're driving me nuts. Anyway,
Brian?
I want to give a thumbs up to my daughter Riley, who turns 11 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Mike?
Well, I'll see your daughter's birthday and raise you one. Although my daughter is way more than 11.
She's probably taller too. All right. Thank you. All right, moving on to consent items. Under the consent items, we have an approval of the May 16, 2023 regular meeting minutes, a list of bills for period ending 5/31/23, fire rescue personnel salaries for fiscal year 24, renewal of the liquor license outdoor service area for Hy-Vee Iowa Barbecue, and a new 5-day liquor license permit for the KC's, and an amendment for the Wise Eye Brewing for an outdoor service area. Urban revitalization tax exemption requests to close the alley for Wise Eye Brewing, and resolution granting cigarette permits, resolution roll call for needed for that. So,
What is the July 1st celebration?
That's the craft beer thing that the mayor's signing today, that's the craft beer celebration.
You should go there at 3.
Find out more about it.
Thank you. I would make a motion to accept consent items 1 through 7 with resolution roll call.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Goodchild,
yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to action items. Sewer rate ordinance. On May 16, 2023, council approved the first reading to amend the Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 99, sewer service charges to rate increase, or the rate increase is because of a budget shortfall due to 3 main factors. 1, increased costs due to inflation. 2, increased maintenance costs due to an aging facility. And 3, increased costs due to debt service on the UV project. A 10% rate increase is effective July 1, 2023 is being proposed. The increase would essentially cover the budget shortfall. Administration recommends council approve the second reading.
You heard anything in your office?
To be clear, the minimum charge for 1,000 gallons is moving from $8.51 to $9.36.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 979 to amend chapter 99 sewer service charges of our code of ordinance.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Bruns,
Yes.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Donlin.
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to the Library Board of Trustees ordinance. On May 16, 2023, council approved the first reading to amend the Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 23, Library Board of Trustees. Amendment is needed to align Chapter 23 with Iowa Code 336. Administration recommends the council approve the second reading and waive the third reading.
Motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 980 to amend Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 23, Library Board of Trustees.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes, motion to waive the third reading of ordinance number 980 to amend Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 23, Library Board of Trustees.
Second.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sturgeon,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes, motion to adopt ordinance number 980, amending Lamar's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 23, Library Board of Trustees on its second. Oops. No, it'd be on its final reading, right?
Second.
Second, oh, thank you, except on the second, okay, good enough.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Sturgeon,
Yes?
Bruns,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to item number 3, the Vision Builders request for multifamily housing. Vision Builders, Inc. would like to construct the next phase of their Prairie View addition. They are proposing to construct a 4-plex townhouse building and to offer the units for sale. They are also proposing to construct a 12-unit apartment building and to offer the units for rent. The total capital investment is projected to be $2,843,900. Vision Builders, Inc. is pursuing financial assistance for a portion of the project, of the cost of this project, and as such, is requesting a resolution of support from the City of Lamar's to submit an application to the Iowa Economic Development Authority for funding through the Workforce Housing Tax Incentive Program. Administration is recommending the council approve the resolution of the support for Vision Builders' application for the Iowa Workforce Housing Tax Credit Program. The City of Lamar's has already fulfilled the local match for the project through a prior development agreement, providing 50% of the infrastructure cost for the installation of sewer, water, and storm sewer infrastructure. This local match investment totaled $122,925.24.
So not too different than what we've been doing for years. It's just in this case, there was the development agreement where we would share the cost of the infrastructure. So we've already done that. So that was our agreement.
And it's due soon, so I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 23-28, approving workforce housing tax incentive program application to Iowa Economic Development Authority for the construction of multifamily housing by Vision Builders.
I think it's 29. No, because we had a resolution we can send. That's why.
Please amend my motion to whatever he said.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Wick,
Yes.
Bruns,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yep.
Sturgeon,
Yes?
Donlin,
Yes.
Motion carried. Moving on to discussion items. City Administrator.
All right, what's the stopwatch at, Mike?
17:30. Thanks for asking.
The alley project, it's been a little slow moving, but tomorrow we should see concrete finally being put down. There's been a lot of submarine prep and waiting on some utilities come in there and get moved, so should start seeing something tomorrow. If you noticed, our street department guys out getting the downtown area looking good with restriping before ice cream days. I don't know if I mentioned this, because we've had a couple meetings since I attended this, but the pre-construction meeting for the Highway 3 route project, I don't know if I mentioned that, but they anticipate starting August 7th with that and working on the First Avenue portion of it first. So Highway 3 will still be open for about 2 weeks, and then they'll move to the Highway 3 area about the 21st of August. So all of those, the past street closures that we've approved, especially the Rejoice one, that should be fine because they won't, the detour won't be on First Street at that time. So,
Is this where they're putting the median over the railroad?
yeah, yeah. So August 7th is when they plan on starting. In another pre-construction meeting, the 12th Street Southwest overlay, PCC overlay project, there is a pre-construction meeting tomorrow for that one. So I anticipate, I think they plan on coming in probably June 17th, although that's a Saturday, June 19th on that Monday to start that project, and that's 28 calendar days to get that thing done. Then the last thing is, just if you haven't noticed, we had hired Specialized Concrete, who's also doing alley, to redo the Arts Center
Yeah, I saw that.
steps. They are deteriorating, so they tore them up and poured new ones in there, so looks good.
Want to talk about the turn lane by Hy-Vee. I think I saw they had cut some out of there.
That's been saw cut, so it's just a matter of our guys getting out there and taking that out.
I've had a few people ask me what's going on with that, I
Yeah.
just told them not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Did we make a final decision that we were tearing it out?
This is awkward.
I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pretty sure we did, we can go to the minutes.
We blew it back together.
Who did? I mean, how did that come about, that final decision on that?
Well, if you remember that, there was gonna be a meeting, the railroad wanted a meeting to address that whole intersection. And in the conversations, I did was part of them, but, with Scott Knipe in conversations with them, it was mentioned that we would do this, so there was no need for a meeting.
Do they think we're gonna cure the problem by tearing that out?
I'm fairly comfortable thinking it will cure the problem.
Works so far.
Because what it does is it'll shove, yeah, it's worked so far. What it does is it shoves the turning trucks one lane over, so they're not getting close to that
But
railroad.
it creates another problem. And that
Well, yeah.
is, it makes the trucks go farther into the westbound lane of 12th Street. It really is not, it's not very, truck
Well,
friendly.
right now it is, but we'll see if that same thing happens once the barricades and stuff are gone.
Okay.
Because I'm guessing some of that is happening because they're trying to avoid those barricades.
Yeah, but they're avoiding the barricades to avoid the structure that they're not trying to hit. And once the barricades are gone, I myself think when we have another issue with this, not if, when we have another issue with this, we're gonna have to revisit this. Because I think there needs to be a wall, a barrier, physical structure that will not allow trucks to make that turn.
That's still possible.
And, you know, I do, but anyway, yeah, well, let's move on, that's fine, that's fine.
I got a whiteboard in my office that has a number of days since